Talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's going, and it's gone. It is bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
I don't even know what to say to open this. Today's game was just absolutely fucking pathetic. They just looked super lifeless, did not do what I thought they were going to do. Got shut out and shit the fucking bed. Absolutely pathetic performance. We got a couple things we're going to talk about. I think Dalt's going to be joining here in a few minutes as well to put his input into what happened today. But yeah, Phillies lose 6-0 today. They lose a series to the Braves, but absolutely pathetic loss. First thing we're going to talk about, Mercado. Mercado absolutely fucking shit his pants today. I get he's a rookie, and I get that, he's probably nervous playing the Braves. They're one of our biggest rivals. A lot of pressure to put on him for him being a rookie, but I don't even know. I feel like Rob just did not make the smartest decision there. I know, his start was against the Cubs, and he did a relief when we played the Tigers. He came out of the bullpen, and he was pretty decent, but I don't know, man. Once he gave up the first home run, you probably should have pulled him because he gave up 3 home runs in 1 inning. And it put the Braves up, I believe, 5-0 in the first inning. Michael Mercado goes, if I can find his stat line for today, 1.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 batters walked, 1 strikeout, 3 home runs. So, again, you let the Braves go up 5-0 in the first fucking inning. He should have been out of there after the first home run. You let up 3 home runs in the 1 inning. 1 fucking inning. Rob Thompson, after the game today, was asked if Michael Mercado was going to make his start next Saturday, and Rob Thompson did not commit to that. So I do not think that Michael Mercado is going to be starting on Saturday. I think they've seen enough. I think he's going to be pulled from the lineup, and I think it's just going to either Turnbull's going to come back because I think he's only on the 15-day, or they might go to a 4-man rotation. Or the other thing that they could do is they could have Tyler Phillips fill in for a starter position. That's going to lead us into our next topic, the next thing I'm going to talk about. But Tyler Phillips, he came out, looked absolutely fucking dominant. The second Phillies rookie to make his debut this season other than Michael Mercado. So Tyler Phillips tonight goes 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts for his rookie debut. Absolutely dominant performance. Absolutely what they needed from the bullpen. Tyler Phillips' 7 strikeouts are the most by any Phillies pitcher in relief in their MLB debut. And I think the only other rookie to have, I think, the second most strikeouts is Cole Hamels in 2005. So Tyler Phillips breaks the 123-year-old record held by Bill Duggleby He had 6 Ks in his April 18th, 1901 debut. So I believe it's Tyler Phillips, then Bill Duggleby, then Cole Hamels. I think Cole Hamels had 5 strikeouts in his MLB debut in 2005. So Tyler Phillips definitely made a case to stay. And I mean, he put up Ks against the Braves, and the Braves are a pretty powerful offense. So if he can come in and do that again, going into the Dodgers series, then again, I think he's earned a roster spot. I don't think Rob made a very smart decision today, putting Mercado into that starting rotation. I mean, I get he didn't have any other choice. You're down your 5th starter, but like, again, you probably should have pulled him as soon as he let up that first home run. And I think moving forward, you can do something similar to what you did last year, where you put Michael Strahm in that starting rotation. Strahm's done that before. He's been pretty decent in the starting rotation. Or you just go back to a 4-man rotation and see what happens. But honestly, these starters lately, just like, they've been kind of atrocious. Like Ranger Suarez yesterday, he did not have his stuff. He let up, I believe, 3 or 4 earned runs. Aaron Nola, he's been kind of shaky. Wheeler's been shaky. I think the only person that's been kind of dominant lately is Christopher Sanchez. But like, it just seems like every starter lately has just been super shaky. And I think the All-Star game and All-Star week is coming at a perfect time to kind of get these guys some rest and get them back in the swing of things. Because, I mean, the Phillies have had an easy-ish schedule the first half of the season. And, I mean, coming up, we play, I believe the Dodgers are next. And then after that, I'm going to look here. Yeah, it's the Dodgers. Then it's the Athletics, Pirates, Twins, Guardians, Yankees, Mariners, then the Dodgers again, then the Diamondbacks again. So, like, they have a very, very rough schedule coming up. And granted, they're getting Kyle back on Tuesday. I think Harper's coming back as well. I'm not 100% sure. They haven't 100% confirmed it. They 100% confirmed Kyle's coming back on Tuesday, and they said that Bryce is not far behind. But look who finally decided to show up.
Yeah, man, I couldn't not show up for this kid, Tyler Phillips. He's about the only person that showed up today for the Phillies. But he was the bright spot. I'm sure you already touched on it, but 7 strikeouts today for the kid in a debut game. The Jersey boy from Bishop Eustace did not know that until today, too. So always cool when you see somebody that, you know, grows up a Philadelphia Phillies fan playing for the team and having a good game. Mercado, on the other hand, definitely going to need some improvement on his end. I mean, 3 home runs in 1 inning. Not a pretty game today by any means, but at least Tyler Phillips finally gets his own, finds his way, and I think can kind of say, okay, I've been out there now in the major leagues. I felt it out, and I did it at a high level. I didn't only do it, but I think those first 4 strikeouts, I don't think it was 5, but the first 4 were in a row, right, Shard?
Yeah, it was the first. He struck out. Let me see here. He struck out, I think it was Ozuna. I can't think of who else he struck out, but like, yeah, it was 4 in a row. But he had 7 total. So I mean, like, absolutely dominant. Matt Olson strikeout, Marcell Ozuna strikeout, and then Travis Arnaud strikeout. So it was 3 back-to-back, and those are 3 really big hitters.
Yeah,
like really big bats for you to strike out in your debut. And like his girlfriend, he made his girlfriend cry. Not like anything bad, but
yeah.
I mean, it's like that's big for him. I think honestly, and I'm looking here on Twitter because I have Twitter up on my other monitor. A lot of people are saying that Rob might have Tyler Phillips start next Saturday against the Pirates. Because it's Dodgers then, or no, it's the Athletics, not the Pirates, Athletics. I could see him starting against the Athletics, but then again, the Athletics just put up almost 20 runs against the Orioles, so like, I don't know, man. The MLB is just crazy this fucking season. Absolutely.
There's only at some point you just got to baptize by fire, right? So at some point you just got to, and right now's the time to do it. Like get it out, figure it out now, because baseball is going to be a different animal come 20, 30 days from now, especially. Once you start getting into the end of July, these games mean a lot more. That's why it's great that the Phillies really have set themselves up and still have even found a way to navigate through the injuries as a whole, I'll say. Maybe not this weekend, but they figured out a way to win games and stay afloat. And because of that, and because of their hard work in the beginning of the season, they're really setting themselves up for, I don't want to say an easier second half of the season, but the quote, discipline makes today harder, but tomorrow easier. So it's almost like, okay, well, as long as we, break even or, win 75% of our games last stretch, we don't have to go as hard as we did. So hopefully that continues, because they need to figure out what they have with this team, not only bats wise, but pitching wise, especially. That's what really scares me. I think all these guys for the Phillies are having a great regular season. Where I start to worry is when you start going into the depth of the pitching, because guys can come out and have a good day here and there, but who's your consistent guy? I don't feel like I know necessarily. So a little bit scared on that end.
I think there's a bigger difference when it comes to home versus away. Like you look at anybody's stats pitching wise, like Christopher Sanchez, he has more wins at home than away. I think they're just more comfortable at home. And granted, that's any team. Any team's going to be more comfortable at home when you have what is our capacity? Like 42 and a half.
Yeah. I think it's like 42,000. Yeah.
It's about 42 and a half. I mean, when you have like 42 and a half fans screaming, messing up the opposing team, is going to make your job easier. But again, they've been on the road for a while. They played their division rival. They always play down to their division rival. I mean, look at the Marlins. They played down to the Marlins, and it caused injuries, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, they kind of set themselves up in a good spot. I mean, they went into this series 9 games ahead of the Braves, and they're coming out of it 8 games ahead. So it's not like they really lost any ground per se. They went up to 10 games on Friday. They moved back 8 games. So again, it's not like they really lost any ground. And they get Kyle back on Tuesday. So they're getting their leadoff DH home run guy. And I think they'll be in a good spot. They're going back to CBP. So we'll see what happens with that.
And I was thinking about it today, and I wanted to get your take on it. In this break and this departure, really the past month, the Phillies have been going through it. It all started, I think, with Trey's injury. Trey, then JT, then the Shorper and Harbor. How do you feel about all of this? Like, because Trey is, I think, stepped up. But some of the daycare, I feel like, could have been more consistent, louder. And I feel like they kind of just sat back and let other guys take control. And I know they're younger guys, and baseball is not an easy sport. But I would have at least and Bohm, I think, would be the closest. But nobody, I would say, really, especially since Harper and Schwarber have been out, has really, as a younger guy, established themselves as that guy.
No, Bohm has kind of disappointed me, honestly. He's just not he went 1 for 4 today. I think he went 0 for 4 or 5 yesterday. I don't know what his issue is. I think he's kind of he's in Harper's spot in the lineup, and I think he's just trying too hard. Stott 0 for 4. Stott's not a leadoff guy. I get you got to put people in certain spots, but once Kyle comes back, I think Stott might start producing a little bit once he gets moved back down. But yeah, I agree with you. The daycare is not stepping up. But the bright side that I will say is in this stretch without having Kyle or Harper, they went 5 for 4. They won 5, lost 4. So it's they're playing a little bit above 500 ball. So it's as long as you can stay above 500, you'll be fine. I don't think they did terrible in this stretch without, having your 3 all-stars out. Again, they're getting reinforcements on Tuesday. I think they'll be fine. Harper's not far behind. He's going to be anywhere between Tuesday to Friday, probably. They said sometime this week. I think Harper's going to try to push for Tuesday, personally.
I think the way that he's watched his team, just his body language, his demeanor, like the way that he's just looking at everything on the sideline, I think you're right. I think he's in there probably pushing for Monday. Just kidding. I don't even know if they play on Monday.
No, they don't.
But
We don't play tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying though. Like he's antsy, you know what I mean? And he knows that this is his team. So yeah, I think having the two of them back too, I feel like one of them can kind of hold up for the other one when the other one is out. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if Harper's out, Schwarber's going to kind of establish himself as the guy versus if Schwarber's out, Harper most of the time always establishes himself as that guy. So I'm not necessarily in a rush for Bryce to come back now that Schwarber will be back, but having the two of them getting that momentum, getting the feeling of them back in the rotation, it's definitely going to take a couple of games. So the quicker we do that, the quicker we get all of that out of our system, I think the better. And that gives this whole team a chance to get back rolling. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it's going to be. How many games does it take for everybody to get back into that groove, that feeling?
Right. And I think, honestly, you couldn't have gotten Kyle back at a better time, especially with the way that the schedule is going to be the next month and a half. Having the Dodgers come to town, they're a really hot team. I think they're first in their division. You got Shohei Ohtani, who's a home run machine. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see on their end. And like freaking Will Smith has been on a tear lately too. He hit, I think, like 4 consecutive home runs in his at-bats. So it's I don't want to be cocky and say I'm not worried because I am, especially coming off of the last 2 losses against the Braves, like getting shut out today and only putting up one run yesterday. I have a couple of notes here. I mean, they went the last 2 games, they went 1-13 with runners in scoring positions. They went 12 hits and only 1 run in the last 2 games. And then they only had 2 extra base hits. They had 1 in the 9th inning today by Alec Bohm. That's ridiculous. You can't win games by doing that. But again, I feel like this team, at least this season, anytime they get knocked down or they get punched in the face, they come back the next game with like a vengeance. So we'll see what happens Tuesday. Yeah, we'll see. I don't have
Shard, I love how you said that with the vengeance. I'm going to have to send it to you. There was a background I'm making for the vlog that we did at Citizens Bank Park. And it was basically the premise of the vlog was like the hottest Phillies game ever. So I'm going to take a picture after this, like sweating my ass off or something. But this is one of the backgrounds that I was going to use of Citizens Bank Park that I had AI make of like just the hottest day ever. You should use it for the vengeance because it's basically what you have, but super sluggers with fucking fire and fucking rings and shit around it. It's literally the Phillies stadium. So there you go. That's what the fucking Phillies need to play on. Fire under their fucking ass the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I mean, going back to what you said earlier, what's going on, Jordan? Always appreciate you coming in. Lost my train of thought. Oh, they have put themselves in a good position to where, if they lose a few here and there, it's not that big of a deal. They're still 8 games up. They're going to lose some. You can't win every game in baseball. And even if, they win 100, like I've been saying, they still have to lose 62, and they're at, I think, like 32 right now. So that's still 30 more losses by the end of the season. They're more than halfway through the season with only 32 losses. So to put it into perspective, going the other half of the season, like that could be 30 more losses, and they only have, again, 62. So
yeah, they really put themselves in a good spot. But the thing is, goes back to the Kobe quote too. You know what I mean? Job ain't done. So as good as it is that you guys are in this position, finish the job, because that goes back to the Phillies of 2022 when nobody expected you to be in the World Series, yet you went. So doesn't matter. Nothing matters until you get to the playoffs. But put yourselves in a good position in the playoffs. Establish yourselves as that consistent team. Prove it to you, not only your opponents, prove it to yourselves that you guys are the best team in baseball. So hopefully that continues. Go Phils.
Yeah, and I agree with Jordan here. At least we only took 1 out of 2. Again, I think that was the main goal, at least for me as a fan, is just not get swept. But
Yeah.
going into the next topic, the one thing I kind of want to talk about this game, and it's gonna piss me off talking about it, but whatever. They got their shit rocked today and yesterday. You let a rookie pitcher come in yesterday with a above 5 ERA and absolutely make your lineup look like dog shit. I can kind of understand today because the guy that we faced today is technically now the best pitcher in the NL because he skipped over Ranger Suarez because what was it yesterday? Ranger inflated his ERA. I think this guy had like a 1.8 ERA coming into today. So I get it, but like you got fucking shut out by your biggest rival. And Twitter is like, I can't even go on Twitter right now because I'm getting blown up by Braves fans coming in my mentions and mentioning me on Twitter. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, we fucking lost the series. We're, I think, 4-2 on the season. They have 4 wins over us and 2 losses. But here's the thing. Congratulations on your fucking World Series in the regular season because you know who whoops your ass in the fucking postseason and has done so the last 2 years? The Phillies. So come postseason time, when you guys are, sitting in Cancun and we're showing off our rings, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying.
Tell them, Shard. Tell them. Yeah, they get annoying, and until you do it in the postseason, like you said, talk whatever you want. Phillies fans are not listening. Congratulations, you beat a shorthanded Phillies team that started a rookie pitcher. You know what I mean? And was testing out things, I think it's fair to say, in this series rather than putting our best foot forward. There's an advantage to being a team that can feel themselves out and go 1-3 against you at full throttle. You know what I mean? So go Phils. Like I said, I mean, I'm not concerned about it until we get to the playoffs. If you do it then I'll gladly listen to you. But until then, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the next 20 days, Shard, your Twitter's definitely going to be very interesting because baseball is starting to get a lot more, not only meaningful, but games are just getting more interesting. Players are caring more because they're realizing it's crunch time. These 1-2 losses really make the difference now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's like, for me, the biggest thing with Braves fans is like, oh, we have 4 World Series. Okay. We have 2. And I mean, they have a gap of World Series between 1995 and 2021. So it's not like they haven't had their fair share of a long gap where they haven't won a World Series. Granted, our last World Series was 2008, but that's still not as big of a gap as you. Baseball teams have gaps where they just don't do shit. And that's what the Phillies are going through right now. So it's like, it's kind of hypocritical for you to say, oh, you haven't done shit in the last couple years. Whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. Congratulations. You shut us out. Congratulations on your regular season World Series. Whatever. But looking at the box score for today, the reason for the shutout, Stock goes 0 for 4, Turner 0 for 3, Bohm 1 for 4, Marsh 0 for 3, Casti 0 for 3, Clemens 0 for 2, Sosa, he pinch hit. He had 1 for 1. Merrifield, I want to take a second here in a minute to talk about Merrifield, but he went 2 for 4. Stubbs 0 for 3, Pache pinched hit. He went 1 for 1, and then Rojas 0 for 4. I'm kind of surprised about Merrifield today he seems to be the only guy that was able to hit today. And looking at his stats, I mean, he had the best stats out of everybody on the team. He's the only guy that's been able to hit off of this guy. And I'm trying to pull up. I want to see real quick, because I have his stats somewhere against this guy. But yeah, I'm really surprised. Merrifield, 14 for 42, 2 home runs. So like he has the highest stats off of the guy that they pitched today. So he's been pretty decent lately. Hopefully he's starting to come around. I don't think he wants to be traded. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, he had a good game today, and when I was listening to the telecast, like you just highlighted, he was pretty good against the pitcher today, so they put him in, and he delivered when they needed him to. I mean, he had a good hit. So Witt getting out of shit, I hope it keeps up. I hope it's not just, a regular season, fluke, but hopefully it continues, because maybe he just needed to get used to being more of a rotation guy than being that solidified starter. And I know he was transitioning from it, and maybe we kind of underestimated as fans how long that could take. I'm guilty as charged as well. But playing in Philadelphia is not an easy task. So maybe he's a little bit more settled in with these fans, and feels like he can be his true self as a baseball player. Whatever the fuck it is, it's working, and I hope he keeps it up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. But like Jonas said here, that's how much JT, Kyle, and Harper mean to this team. I mean, anytime they're in here, they're absolutely dominant. And I think, again, once everybody's back, and like you said, they have a couple games to get readjusted, they'll be fine. But yeah, I think, especially JT, I think them not having a catcher who catches every day, and them switching all the time fucks them up too. And I think JT not being in the lineup kind of messes everything up. But to kind of end everything, series loss. They lose a series today. They just can't win series against the Braves. They lost this series, lost the one at the beginning of the season, whatever. Still have the best record in baseball. Still absolutely dominating. I believe they're 58-32 right now. Looking at the standings, again, the Braves are still 8 games back, so it's not like we lost any ground on them per se. Looking at the MLB, we're still best in baseball. Guardians are 1 game behind us, and the Orioles, if they win today, are 1 game behind. So still the best in baseball. Probably, I would say, first to 60 wins if they can take a couple here in this upcoming week. And then, again, Kyle back on Tuesday. Hopefully, Bryce back on Tuesday. I don't think Bryce is going to be back, but sometime this week. We'll see what happens. Phillies have an off day tomorrow, so we won't be on. We'll be back on Tuesday. And looking at the time, I think it's a 6:40 game. It is. So Tuesday will be 6:40, Wednesday 7:05. And then Thursday is a 6:05 as well. So some normal baseball times coming up. So we'll be here this week giving you the post-game show. Make sure you tune in. Always great to have most of you. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have. You have anything to close out, Dalt?
No, go Phils. Hopefully on Tuesday when we're back, the Phillies are back mentally, because it has been not an easy 2 days for Phillies fans, and not an easy, couple of weeks. We're not used to being a slightly above 500 team, 5-4, which is kind of crazy to think about. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of underwhelming right now. So go Phils.
Go Phils. But on that note, fuck you, Phillies. We'll still see you Tuesday. See you guys.
The Titans!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.